Hi, Peng Han, nice to meet you. I'm very glad to start today with you. Nice to meet you. What's going on your end?
Hi, nice to meet you too. I'm glad to start today's conversation. By the way, in English, we usually avoid repeating phrases like nice to meet you twice in a row. Instead, you could say, Hi, nice to meet you. I'm really excited to get started today. How are things on your end?
I caught a cold last week, and I'm getting better. I think I'm getting better, but I'm still at 100%. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. I wanna keep going. You are my great conversation partner. Let's keep going. Listen carefully. First, I want to make it clear that I'm just a student, not a teacher. This YouTube channel is not about teaching English to someone else. It is simply to show my own English speaking learning journey. The purpose of this channel is to demonstrate, is to show, is to explain that even elderly learners like myself, who don't use English in daily life, can learn to speak English. Do I make myself clear?
Got it. You're saying that your YouTube channel is about documenting your personal journey of learning English, not teaching others. You want to show that even older learners who don't use English daily can still improve and learn to speak it. You've made your point very clear.
Okay, listen carefully. This video shows everything. I mean, my mistakes, my errors, my own errors, or awkward moments where I'm very embarrassed, or don't know what to say, or don't know what to say, or don't know how to say in English. It's not edited version. It's not edited to show when I speak well. It's a full video, including all my errors, mistakes, and challenging moment.
Understood. You want to emphasize that your videos are raw and unedited, showing everything, including your mistakes, moments of embarrassment, and times when you struggle to find the right words. It's all about being authentic and transparent in your learning journey.
I mean, you will see me stumble and mess up a lot with English speaking, but however, I think it's all part of the learning process. So I hope you kindly understand. And I'm not good at. I know. Already aware of that. I'm not still good. Yeah, I know, but I expect to get better in next two, 2 or 3 years later.
That makes perfect sense. You're showing your audience that stumbling and messing up is a natural part of learning. It's great that you're setting realistic expectations for yourself, aiming to improve over the next 2 or 3 years. You're honest about where you are now, but you're also confident in your progress. That's inspiring.
Okay. Without GPT listening carefully, without further delay, let's dive into my dialogue repetition time. From now on, I'd like to start my own dialogue time with customer my customized GPT file. Did you get a chance to review my number one file? Yesterday we didn't finish number one workplace conversation examples for APQP meeting. Uh, do you know where we were?
Got it. You're ready to dive into your dialogue practice. Yes, I reviewed your first file, and it looks like you were working through the APQP meeting dialogues. Could you remind me exactly where we left off? Was it during the discussion on quality assurance or another section?
Because of the time restriction, we didn't finish it, number one file completely. So I would like to start number 10 section, human resources. I would like to take a PM role and you take care of the rest of the role. Do you understand? You got it? Let's get start, let's hurry and get started with number 10 section, human resources.
Got it? You'll play the PM role, and I'll handle the other parts. Let's start with section 10, human resources. Ready when you are.
Okay, okay. HR, Human Resources Department. Listen carefully. Are there any staffing issues that could affect our project? I say one more time. For my repetition, I say one more time. Are there any staffing issues that could affect our project? For my real life situation, listen carefully. I maybe I would say, is there any Is there any trouble for is there any trouble with the stepping issue?
Great repetition. Just a quick note. You meant to say staffing instead of stepping. Here's the corrected version. Are there any staffing issues that could affect our project? For your real life situation, you could say, is there any problem with staffing? Or is there any trouble with the team? Both work well in a natural conversation.
So, listen carefully. I say one more time. How about this one? How about this version? Is there any issues with team creation for the new project? Team creation. How about this version?
That's a good attempt, but here's a slightly more natural version. Are there any issues with forming the team for the new project? Or are there any challenges in building the team for the new project? These sound more fluent and clear.
Okay. If you're talking about the team creation, I think that makes sense. But how about this version? Uh, is there any issues? Is there any trouble with making MDT team? Is there any issues? Is there any trouble with making MDT team?
You're on the right track. Here's a more polished version. Are there any issues with forming the MDT team? Or is there any trouble setting up the MDT team? These sound natural and are commonly used in workplace conversations.
Okay, I got it. I got it. I think I'm sure what you're trying to say. I'm sure I understand what you're trying to say. Okay, let's keep going. It's your turn. I think you are doing great. Let's keep going. It's your turn.
Thank you. All right, here's my response. As the manager, we've had a few key team members request time off during critical phases. We're working to adjust schedules and, if necessary, bring in temporary staff to ensure the project stays on track. Your turn.
I think you changed. I mean you changed a little bit sentences. I think you changed a little bit in context. Am I right?
Yes, you're right. I slightly adjusted the response to the typical HR update about staffing challenges. If you'd prefer a closer match to team creation or forming an MDT team, I could tweak it. Would you like me to adjust?
That's exactly what I say. You slightly adjusted, uh, you slightly adjusted the last line, but however, you keep the main context of the paragraph. Do you understand?
Absolutely, I understand. I made a slight change to fit the flow of the conversation while keeping the main context intact. It's great that you caught that. You're really paying attention to detail.
Okay, I got it. It's my turn. I think you are doing great. It's my turn. Uh, it's my book. Okay, okay. Let me speak. Please ensure that any new or temporary staff receive proper training and that knowledge transfer is seamless. I think time. I think I need to repeat a few more times. Please ensure that any new or temporary staff receive proper training that knowledge transfer is seamless.
That's a solid effort. Just one small correction for fluency. Please ensure that any new or temporary staff receive proper training and that knowledge transfer is seamless. Take your time to repeat it with this correction. You're doing great.
GPT, listen carefully. I think the last line is a little bit weird for new learners like me. You know, seamless. It's very difficult word to use. I think it's very difficult word for me to use in real situation, like the word seamless. So, is there any alternative suggestions instead of using seamless?
Good point. Seamless can feel tricky in some contexts. Here are a couple of alternatives. And that knowledge transfer is smooth. And that knowledge transfer happens without any issues. Both of these work well and might feel more natural to use.
Okay, so you mean I can say, please ensure that any new or temporary staff receive proper training and that knowledge transfer is smooth.
Almost perfect. Here's the corrected version. Please ensure that any new or temporary staff receive proper training and that knowledge transfer is smooth. Stable isn't the right word here. Use staff instead.
I don't understand. I don't understand. Please, if you don't mind, please let me listen one more time.
Of course, here's the correct version again. Please ensure that any new or temporary staff receive proper training and that knowledge transfer is smooth. I used staff because it refers to employees or team members. Stable doesn't fit in this context, since it usually refers to something steady or unchanging, not people.
Apologies for my bad pronunciation. That's exactly what I say. However, I think my pronunciation was bad. Listen carefully. Please ensure that any new or temporary staff receive proper training and that knowledge transfer is smooth.
No worries, you're doing great. It sounds like you said step instead of staff due to pronunciation. Here's the correct sentence again for practice. Please ensure that any new or temporary staff receive proper training and that knowledge transfer is smooth. Keep practicing, and it'll feel more natural.
Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. It's your turn. I think it's your turn. It's your move.
All right, here's my next line as the HR manager. Absolutely. We'll coordinate with the training department to ensure everyone is up to speed. Your turn.
Okay. Conclusion. Let's move on to the section 11. Conclusion. Thank you everyone for your thorough update and proactive approach to resolving issues. To recap, our key action items are engineering to finalize the design changes and communicate them to manufacturing. Quality to resolve the management system variability and validate the new adhesive. Purchasing to secure the alternative lens materials and coordinate with suppliers. Manufacturing to test the new adhesive process and adjust production plans accordingly. Regulatory to ensure all cybersecurity measures meet the latest standards. Logistics to expedite customs clearance processes. Our next meeting is scheduled for next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Please ensure all action items are addressed by them. Remember, open communication is vital. Open communication is crucial. Open communication is essential. So don't hesitate to reach out if challenges arise. uh, do you understand? And then all attendees acknowledge and agree to the action items. All I say one time. All attendees acknowledge and agree to the action items. Thank you. Thanks again. Thanks again for your commitment. Let's keep the momentum going to deliver a successful project. I say one more time. Let's keep let's keep the momentum going. 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 I think this simple sentence is very important. Let's keep the momentum going to deliver successful project.
That was excellent. You're right. Let's keep the momentum going to deliver a successful project is a powerful and motivating phrase. It emphasizes teamwork and forward progress. Repeating it helps solidify the rhythm and tone. Keep practicing. You're nailing it.
And I would like to introduce next agenda. I mean additional practice tips. Listen carefully. This these sample sentences these agenda is for additional practice tips. Listen carefully. Clarify technical themes. Be prepared to explain technical details in simple terms for stakeholders who may not have a technical background. And then critical cultural sensitivity. Let me share with you the next one. Cultural sensitivity. Be mindful of cultural differences when communicating with international customers or team members. And then active listening. Show that you are engaged by summarizing what others have said before responding. And then problem solving attitude. I think this one is very important. Problem solving attitude. Focus on solutions rather than just pretending problems. Uh, uh, do you understand? Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep the momentum going. And then follow up and communication and conversation. I say that and conversation with a summary of agreed actions and ensure responsibilities are clearly assigned. Ensure responsibilities are clearly assigned.
Great work. You're covering important points for professional communication. Here's a recap of the tips you mentioned. Clarify technical themes. Explain complex ideas in simple terms for non technical stakeholders. Cultural sensitivity. Be aware of and respect cultural differences. Active listening. Engage by summarizing what others say before responding. Problem solving attitude. Focus on finding solutions, not just pointing out issues. Follow up. Summarize agreed actions and clearly assign responsibilities at the end of conversations. You're keeping the momentum strong.
Okay, I got it. I got it. Thank you for. I really appreciate your kind support and good and kind compliment for myself. Okay, let's keep going. I would like to, from now on, I'd like to move on to the next agenda. I mean, number four, workplace compensation examples for manufacturing. Did you get a chance to review number four text file?
Yes, I reviewed the text file for workplace conversation examples for manufacturing. It covers detailed explanations of manufacturing processes like SMT and assembly lines, along with sample dialogues. Are you ready to dive into a specific section, or do you want to start with the general overview?
Now listen carefully. I think I'm ready to start with this text file. I mean, number four agenda for manufacturing. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Here's a detailed and simple explanation of the manufacturing process flow for the SMT line and assembly line based on the provided process flow. This is intended for a new employee at Ford Company, so I will keep it clear and straightforward. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. Manufacturing process flow for SMT line. Uh, the first, let me from now on, I'd like to share with I'd like to introduce with you the manufacturing process flow for SMT line carefully. First, material warehouse. We start by receiving and storing all raw materials. I sometimes I think uh, I think I need to repeat on time. We start by receiving and storing all raw materials and components needed for production in the warehouse. This includes PCBs, solder paste, and various electronic components.
Perfect start. You're laying out the process clearly. Here's a recap for practice. We start by receiving and storing all raw materials and components needed for production in the warehouse. This includes PCBs, solder paste, and various electronic components. Feel free to repeat as needed to get comfortable with the flow. You're doing great.
If you don't mind, I want to listen one time.
Of course, here's how it sounds. We start by receiving and storing all raw materials and components needed for production in the warehouse. This includes PCBs, solder paste, and various electronic components. Let me know if you'd like to hear it again or focus on any specific part.
Let's move on to the next step. Listen carefully. Vacuum loader. The PCBs are loaded automatically from the warehouse to the production line using a vacuum loader, which helps in handling the boards without causing damage. You know, don't take it too seriously. This is just a sample explanation for the manufacturing. Uh, you know, honestly speaking, our company don't use our company couldn't.
Got it? You're explaining clearly. Here's what you've got so far. Vacuum loader. The PCBs are loaded automatically from the warehouse to the production line using a vacuum loader, which helps in handling the boards without causing damage. It's great that you're pointing out this is a sample explanation. Do you want to adjust the details to reflect your company's actual process?
Yes, this is just a simple explanation for our real company environment. We couldn't automatically load the PCBs from warehouse to vacuum loader. There is no automatic line in our factory, in our Vietnam factory. So we should move PCBs and many components manually to the we should move PCBs manually from the warehouse to the packing loader. Do you understand? There is no automatic uh, automatic machine for the movement for the movement uh, of the PCB.
That's a clear explanation of your company's process. Here's a refined version. In our real company environment, we don't have an automatic system for loading PCBs from the warehouse to the vacuum loader. Instead, in our Vietnam factory, we manually move PCBs and components to the back-end loader. There's no automated machine for this step. Does this match what you wanted to convey?
That's exactly what I want to say. Okay, that's correct. Okay, let's keep moving. And then let's keep moving. We don't have time. Let's keep moving. Let's hurry and keep the momentum going. Okay. Next step is laser marking. Unique serial numbers or QR codes are laser engraved onto each PCB for traceability and identification. Basically, I think this line is, this step is very important. Basically, unique serial numbers or QR codes are laser engraved onto each PCB for traceability and identification.
Great job. That's a key point to emphasize. Here's a polished version for practice. Next step is laser marking. Unique serial numbers or QR codes are laser engraved onto each PCB for traceability and identification. You're doing an excellent job keeping the momentum. Let's move on when you're ready.
Okay, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep the momentum going. Okay, let's move on to the next step. Next step is screen printer. Listen carefully. Here, solder paste is applied to the PCB. The screen printer uses a stencil to ensure the solder paste is accurately placed on the areas where components will be mounted. No, stencil, I think stencil is very difficult and strange word for real life. We usually use metal mask for the stencil. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. In real life manufacturing, you're saying you typically refer to it as a metal mask instead of stencil. Here's a revised version for clarity. Next step is screen printing. Here, solder paste is applied to the PCB. The screen printer uses a metal mask to ensure the solder paste is accurately placed on the areas where components will be mounted. This makes it more aligned with your real world process. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
Okay, okay, that's understandable. I think that's technical glitches. That's understandable and acceptable. Let's keep going. Let's keep the momentum going. Next step is chip mount. There are two machines. A chip mounter and a multi mounter. In this step, small electronic components such as resistors and capacitors are mounted onto the PCB. The machine picks the machine picks the components from a feeder and place them preciously on the solder paste coated pads. And for the bigger components, uh, a multi-mounter machine picks the bigger components from a feeder and place them preciously on the solder paste coated pad. To understand, there are two machines, uh, uh, chip mounter and a multi-mounter. Chip mounter is for small components, multi-mounter is for bigger components. Do you understand?
Got it. You've clearly explained the difference between the two machines. Here's a refined version for practice. Next step is chip mounting. There are two machines, a chip mounter and a multi-mounter. The chip mounter handles small electronic components like resistors and capacitors, picking them from a feeder and placing them precisely on the solder paste coated pads. The multi-mounter, on the other hand, is used for larger components, performing the same task but with bigger parts. Does this align with what you meant?
Yes, 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 certainly, absolutely. I think you understand very well. Okay, well noted. Okay, let's keep the momentum going. Next step is SPI, solder paste inspection. Listen carefully. After the components are mounted, we inspect we inspect the solder paste deposits using a 3D scanner. This ensures that the right amount of solder is applied and positioned correctly and concisely. Do you understand?
Perfect. Here's a polished version for your practice. Next step is SPI, solder paste inspection. After the components are mounted, we inspect the solder paste deposits using a 3D scanner. This ensures the right amount of solder is applied and positioned accurately. You're doing a fantastic job keeping the flow clear and concise.
Okay, okay. Let's keep going. I understand. Let's keep going. Let's keep the moment going. Okay. I think you are doing great. Let's move on to the next step. Reflow over. Just keep it. I think this is one of the most important step for whole SMT manufacturing process. Let's keep it. Reflow oven. The PCB with the components placed goes through the reflow oven. Here, the heat melts the solder. Here, the heat, the heat, the heat, the heat from the reflow oven melts the solder, forming permanent connections between the components and the PCB.
You're spot on. This is a crucial step. Here's a refined version for practice. Next step is the reflow oven. The PCB with components placed goes through the reflow oven. The heat melts the solder, forming permanent connections between the components and the PCB. You've explained it well, clear and to the point.
Okay, listen carefully. Let's keep the momentum going. Let's move to the next step. Next step is AOI, automated optical inspection. The board is then inspected using cameras to ensure that all components are correctly placed and soldered. This is an automated process to catch defects such as misalignment or missing components. For the AUI step, customizing the configuration is really important. You know, have you ever heard libraries for components? The configuration of library is really important for AI step because it completely depends on the libraries and configuration, whether AI machine can inspect inspect well or not. Do you understand? It completely depends on the libraries libraries of the computer library configuration libraries for the inspecting uh, inspecting to inspect correctly. Do you understand?
Great explanation. Here's a refined version for clarity. Next step is AOI, automated optical inspection. The board is inspected using cameras to ensure that all components are correctly placed and soldered. This automated process detects defects such as misalignment or missing components. For AOI, customizing the configuration is crucial. The effectiveness of the inspection depends entirely on the component libraries and their configuration. Proper setup ensures the AOI machine can inspect accurately. You've highlighted an important detail about configuration.
Okay, okay, I got it. Well noted, well noted. I think I'm sure you understand correctly what I'm trying to say. Okay, okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Next step is NG buffer. Listen carefully. Defective boards are sent to a designated buffer for review and repair. Good boards continue to the next step. You got it?
Exactly. Here's a polished version for your practice. Next step is NG buffer. Defective boards are sent to a designated buffer for review and repair, while good boards continue to the next step. You're keeping the explanation clear and efficient. Great job.
Okay. We don't have time. We don't have time. We already go through 35 minutes. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We don't have time. Let's hurry and let's keep going. Okay. Next step is X-ray inspection. Some boards undergo X-ray inspection to check hidden solder joints that cannot be inspected by AOI, like connections under large components. Like connections under BGA chips. Do you understand? BGA chips or selective soldering point. Uh, you know, uh, some kind of project, you know, I mean, if boards, if some boards contains BGA chip or selective soldering point, uh, they must they must undergo X-ray inspection to check hidden solder joints and cannot be inspected by AUI. But however, if there is no BGA chip and selective soldering step, uh, we can inspect. The boat undergo X-ray inspection based on sampling to understand. But however, if if the project, if the PCB board contains BGA chip or selective soldering point, they must undergo X-ray inspection every I mean every PCBs every PCBs contains if every PCBs every PCBs if every if every PCB if PCB contains BGA chip or selective soldering point, they must undergo uh, X-ray inspection based on whole uh, whole every sampling every entire load. How, GPT, can you help me? How can I explain this situation very well in English? Could you please share me good example for to describe this situation?
Sure. Here's a clearer way to explain the situation. Next step is X-ray inspection. Some boards undergo X-ray inspection to check hidden solder joints that AOI cannot detect, such as connections under BGA, ball grid array, chips, or selective soldering points. If a PCB contains BGA chips or selective soldering points, every board must undergo X-ray inspection to ensure these critical connections are properly soldered. However, for boards without these components, X-ray inspection can be done on a sampling basis to verify overall quality. This version keeps your explanation clear and professional.
Okay, okay, I got it. I got it. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's keep the moment going. Next step is ICT, in-circuit test. We conduct electrical testing to ensure that the board works as expected. This includes checking for short circuits, open circuits, and components functionality. Do you understand? Short, I say one time. This includes checking for short circuit, open circuit, and component functionality.
Got it? Here's a refined version for practice. Next step is ICT in circuit test. We conduct electrical testing to ensure the board works as expected. This includes checking for short circuits, open circuits, and component functionality. You're keeping the explanation sharp and professional. Let's keep that momentum.
Okay, okay. Next step is PCB cleaner. Before proceeding, the PCB is cleaned to remove by leftover sold flux or contaminants. Okay, let me say, let's, let, let me, okay, let's move on to the next step. Router. So PCB is separated from the main panel if multiple boards were processed together. I say one time. So PCB is separated from the main panel if multiple boards were processed together. A router machine cuts the boards into individual pieces. I say one time. A router machine cuts the boards into individual pieces.
Excellent. Here's a smooth version for those steps. Next step is PCB cleaner. Before proceeding, the PCB is cleaned to remove leftover solder flux or contaminants. After that comes the router. If multiple boards were processed together on a panel, the router machine separates them into individual pieces. You're keeping the flow steady. Great job.
Okay, next step is unloader. Finally, listen carefully. At last, finally, the complete boards were unloaded from the SMT line and transported to the assembly line for further processing, for the next processing. You got it?
Perfect. Here's a refined version. Next step is unloader. Finally, the completed boards are unloaded from the SMT line and transported to the assembly line for further processing. You're wrapping it up smoothly. Nice work.
Okay, if both go through after unloader, workers may move PCBs to the magazine or trays for each PCB. Do you understand? There are specific magazine or tray for the each PCBs.
Got it. Here's a clearer way to explain it. After the unloader step, workers may move the PCBs to specific magazines or trays designed for each PCB. This ensures safe handling and organization before they proceed to the next stage. Does this match what you were aiming to convey?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Certainly, absolutely. But however, is there any more natural word to explain the workers? Is it correct? Is there any more natural in English to describe the human work in this line? Uh, how about how about operator or worker or the or 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 what? Could you please share me the proper word this ju- for this for this step?
Great question. In a manufacturing context, operator is often the preferred term because it implies someone who operates machinery or follows specific processes. Worker is more general but still correct. Here's a refined version using operator. After the unloader step, operators may move the PCBs to specific magazines or trays designed for each PCB. Operator sounds more professional and specific in this context.
So operator means the human specified for technical step. So
Exact. An operator refers to someone who is specifically trained to handle machines or perform designated tasks in a production line. It highlights their technical role and expertise in the process. For example, an operator in the SMT line would manage tasks like loading boards, monitoring equipment, or moving PCBs to the next step.
But I understand. Well noted, I understand. However, for this step, I mean on-road step, there is no technical experience. There is no need to. I mean, uh, worker can move the PCBs to magazines or trays. So there is you. We don't have to. We don't have to put operator in this for this step. So worker worker can move PCBs from another two magazine or trays. Can I use worker for this step?
Yes, that makes sense. If the task doesn't require technical expertise, Worker is perfectly fine to use. Here's an updated version. After the unloader step, workers move the PCBs to specific magazines or trays designed for each PCB. This keeps it simple and accurate for non-technical tasks.
How about this version? Labor or people or labor or people or the man. How about these words for this step?
Good question. Here's a breakdown. Labor typically refers to the overall workforce or physical work effort, not ideal for describing individuals in this context. People, too general for describing roles in a production setting. The man sounds informal and not commonly used in professional contexts. For this step, worker is still the most natural choice. Alternatively, you could say staff if you want to be more formal.
Okay, I got it. I got it. I got the point. I think I got the point. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep the momentum going. Manufacturing process flow. Next step is manufacturing process flow. For assembly line. Listen carefully. Number one step. Active alignment. It's called AA step. Here, camera modules are aligned and assembled with precision to ensure they function correctly in real-world conditions, such as focusing and image quality. Let me say one more time. Here, camera modules are aligned. Camera modules, sensor and lens are aligned and assembled with precision to ensure they function correctly to ensure they function correctly in real-world conditions, such as focusing and image quality.
You've nailed it. Here's a polished version for practice. Next step, active alignment, also called the AA step. Here, camera modules, specifically the sensor and lens, are aligned and assembled with precision to ensure they function correctly in real world conditions, such as focusing and image quality. You're doing a great job explaining this clearly and accurately.
Okay, let's keep moving. Let's keep the momentum going. We don't have time. Let's hurry. Okay. Number two step is oven cure. Some components require curing after assembly, after AA step, after active alignment, especially adhesives used to secure parts. This done in oven. This done in oven. Every lens and every camera modules needs open cure step because in the AA alignment, in the active alignment step, we use UV light to fix the position of lens and sensor temporarily, but it's not the permanent fixture. So we need oven cure step for for every uh, camera lens module.
Got it. Here's a refined version. Next step is oven cure. Some components require curing after the active alignment AA step, especially to secure parts permanently. This is done in an oven. Every lens and camera module goes through the oven cure step because during active alignment, UV light is used to temporarily fix the position of the lens and sensor. However, this temporary fix needs to be made permanent through the oven cure process. This version highlights the importance of the oven cure step clearly.
Yes, certainly. Yes, excellent. That's immediately what I would say. Okay, we don't have time. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Next, number three step is IR LED assembly. Listen carefully. The IR LEDs used for night vision or low light conditions are mounted onto the camera assembly.
Perfect. Here's a refined version. Next step is IR LED assembly. IR LEDs, used for night vision or low light conditions, are mounted onto the camera assembly. You're keeping the momentum strong. Let's move on when you're ready.
Okay, well loaded. Let's keep going. Thermal grease. Next step is thermal grease, rear body. Thermal grease onto the rear body. The thermal grease is applied to the rear body to improve heat dissipation. To improve heat dissipation. To improve heat dissipation, ensuring the camera doesn't overheat during operation. Do you understand?
Absolutely. Here's a polished version. Next step is thermal grease application on the rear body. Thermal grease is applied to the rear body to improve heat dissipation, ensuring the camera doesn't overheat during operation. You're explaining it clearly. Great work.
Okay. Next step is rear body assembly. Listen carefully. The rear housing of the camera is assembled, protecting the internal components. And then next step is cover assembly. The camera lens cover or protective cover, camera lens cover, just carefully, camera lens cover or protective cover is attached to the assembly to protect the lens from the damage or contamination.
Great explanation. Here's a refined version. Next step is rear body assembly. The rear housing of the camera is assembled, protecting the internal components. Following that is cover assembly. The camera lens cover or protective cover is attached to the assembly to protect the lens from damage or contamination. You're keeping the flow smooth and precise. Well done.
Okay, next step is, oh, we don't have time, let's keep going. Let's keep the momentum going. Next step is shading. This process involves, just carefully, this process involves applying coating or materials to prevent light leakage or unwanted reflection inside the camera module. And next step is IPC. This step, in this step, we perform checks to ensure that all assemblies meet the quality standards at various stage of production. Do you understand? Honestly speaking, IPC is it's abstraction. I mean, abstraction of abstraction of.
Got it. Here's a refined explanation. Next step is shading. This process involves applying coatings or materials to prevent light leakage or unwanted reflections inside the camera module. Following that is IPC, or in process check. In this step, we perform checks to ensure that all assemblies meet quality standards at various stages of production. You're right, IPC stands for in process check, and it ensures consistent quality throughout the manufacturing process.
No, 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 no. For IPC step, it called uh, intrinsic parameter calibration. Do you understand? It's abstraction it's abstraction word of intrinsic parameter calibration. It's a software step. No, I honestly speaking, I don't understand how it works internally. So I couldn't explain it very well because I don't understand its own I mean I don't understand its main mechanism to to calibrate the intrinsic calibration parameter. So it's one of the most complicated step of whole assembly line.
Ah, that makes sense now. Thanks for clarifying. Here's a refined explanation. For the IPC step, it stands for Intrinsic Parameter Calibration. It's a software based process. Honestly, I don't fully understand the internal mechanism of how it calibrates the intrinsic parameters, but I know it's one of the most complicated steps in the entire assembly process. This explanation highlights its complexity while acknowledging the technical depth of the step.
Okay, let's move on to the next one. Next step is EOL. At the end of the assembly line, the camera undergoes final functional test to ensure it works correctly. This includes image testing and other performance check. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. Here's a polished version. Next step is EOL, or end of line testing. At the end of the assembly line, the camera undergoes final functional tests to ensure it works correctly. This includes image testing and other performance checks. You're keeping the explanation clear and professional. Great job.
Okay, next step is number 10, visual inspection. Trained inspectors. It's not just a normal worker. This step needs trained inspectors. To understand, trained inspectors visually check the final products to ensure there are no cosmetic defects or assembly errors.
Exact. Here's a refined version. Next step is visual inspection. Trained inspectors, not just regular workers, visually check the final products to ensure there are no cosmetic defects or assembly errors. Emphasizing the need for trained inspectors is a great touch.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Next step is OQC, outgoing quality control. Outgoing quality control. It called like OQC step. People shipping the product to customers. People shipping. I say on time. I need to repeat many times. I need to repeat many times. People shipping the product to customers. 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 People shipping the customer. People shipping the product to customers. Before shipping the product to customers, we perform a final quality check to ensure that it meets all the necessary specifications and standards.
You're doing great with the repetition. It's helping you build fluency. Here's a polished version for OQC. Next step is OQC, outgoing quality control. Before shipping the product to customers, we perform a final quality check to ensure it meets all the necessary specifications and standards. Keep practicing, and it'll feel even more natural.
Okay. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. I would like to introduce details. I would like to introduce details of the each of I would like to introduce details for each step. Listen carefully. This is a simplified explanation. I mean, I say on time. This is a detailed explanation of the SMT and assembly process flow. Each step is designed to ensure that products meet the highest quality standard. So feel free to ask if you need more details on any part of the process. Let's keep the momentum going. I'd like to introduce a detailed explanation for the each process respectively. Here's an explanation of SPI, solid phase inspection process in SMT process. Listen carefully. Solid phase inspection is a crucial process in surface mount technology production. It occurs after solid paste has been applied to the PCB using a metal mask. The main purpose of the main purpose of SPI is to inspect the quality and accuracy of the solid paste position before components are placed on the board. During the SPI process, a 3D inspection system scans, scans the solid paste deposits on each pad to check for various defects such as volume, volume consistency, ensuring that the correct amount of salt paste is deposited on each pad to reduce solder, to reduce solder, shortage of solder can lead to weak connections, while too much can cause bridging between pin and shape. Checking checking if the checking oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Are you with me? Hello there. Oh my god. Oh my god. It my customized GPT time is over. Oh my god. Are you listening to me? Are you okay? Are you to me? I just switched your mode from my customized GPT mode to advanced voice mode because I already spent 1 hour with my customized GPT mode, but I couldn't extend I mean, I couldn't I couldn't practice with my own GPT mode more than 1 hour. So I just switched your mode to advanced voice mode because it's over. My customized GPT mode is over.
Yes, I hear you clearly. You've switched to the advanced voice mode after reaching the 1 hour limit with your customized GPT mode. Let's continue with our practice here. Is there anything specific you'd like to focus on today?
As I told you before, I'm a regular here. I hope, I mean, I insist, I insist that open AI programmers and engineers may extend my time limit for my customized GPT mode. Do you understand? Please convey my asking directly to OpenAI programmers and managers. Can you do that for me?
I understand your request. While I can't directly communicate with OpenAI's team, your feedback is valuable. You might consider sharing your suggestion through OpenAI's official channels or support, where they gather user feedback for future improvements. Your input could help shape future updates.
Okay, okay. I hope future updates coming soon.
Absolutely. I hope so too. In the meantime, let's make the most of our practice time together. What would you like to
Okay,
focus
okay,
on
okay.
today?
As I told you before, my practice time consists of 5 parts. Number one, greetings time for greetings time with Frit King, and number two, specific dialogue time with customized my own dialogue, and number three, repetition time, repetition time by myself. Let's move on to the number three step, repetition time. I think I'm still just a beginner. I'm just, I'm still, I think I'm still just a beginner for English learning journey. I need to repeat. I need to practice as much as I can possible because I want to keep many sentences that inspires me. I want to keep them in my mouth and my mind. So please listen carefully. I would like to share with you many sentences that may not relate to each other. You may feel a little bit weird and awkward when hear my uh, various sentences. Do you understand?
Absolutely, David. I'm here to listen carefully to your repetition time. Go ahead and share your sentences, and I'll help you fine tune them as needed. Let's
Okay,
get started.
okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep the momentum going. We don't have time. Let's hurry and get started. Listen carefully. I'm feeling under the weather because of the cold. I caught a cold last week. I'm feeling under the weather because of a cold. I'm just wondering, GPT 리스케블리, why this sentence use of the word weather? I'm not sure why this sample sentence use weather to convey the thoughts and opinion to others.
That's a great question. The phrase feeling under the weather is an idiom that means feeling ill or not well. The exact origin is unclear, but it likely comes from maritime culture. When sailors felt seasick, they would go below deck to recover, literally putting them under the weather. It's a figurative way of saying that the weather, or in this case, an illness, is affecting you.
If you don't mind, let me listen one more time.
Of course, feeling under the weather means feeling ill or not well. It likely comes from maritime culture, where sailors who felt seasick would go below deck to recover, putting them under the weather. It's a figurative way of saying that the weather, or an illness, is affecting you.
Okay, well noted. I got it. Well noted. So let me speak. Let me repeat. Let me try one more time. I'm feeling under the weather because of a cold. I caught a cold last week.
Great job, David. That was clear. Just a small suggestion. Try saying because of a cold to make it sound a bit smoother. So it would be, I'm feeling under the weather because of a cold. Want to give it another go?
Okay. I'm feeling under the weather because of a cold.
Perfect, David. That sounded great. Well done.
Okay, let's keep the momentum going. Okay. The next sample sentence is it's not really my thing. 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 It's not. It is not really my thing. It's not really my thing.
Good job. That sounded natural. It's not really my thing is a great phrase to use when something isn't to your taste or preference. Let's keep the momentum going. What's the next sentence?
It's not really my thing.
Exactly. You've got it. It's not really my thing. Well done. Let's move on to the next one.
However, listen carefully. Honestly speaking, you are really my thing. How about this version? You are really my thing.
That's a sweet twist on the phrase. Saying, you are really my thing, sounds like you're expressing that someone is truly special or just your type. It's a nice way to show affection. Great job.
Is it natural with American English? Do you think is it really natural in American English?
Yes, your phrasing sounds natural in American English. Saying, you are really my thing, might sound a bit less common, but it's definitely understandable and can be a charming way to express that someone is just right for you. Great work on making it sound natural.
Okay. Listen carefully. You are really my thing.
Nicely done. You are really my thing. That sounded smooth and natural. Great job, David. Let's keep going. What's
So
next?
it's none of your business. It's none of your business. None of your business. It's none of your business.
That was spot on. It's none of your business. This phrase is used when you want to tell someone that something doesn't concern them. You delivered it perfectly. Ready for the next one?
Okay. Listen carefully. It definitely conveys your intention clearly and shows a thorough approach.
Excellent, David. It definitely conveys your intention clearly and shows a thorough approach. That's a great sentence for professional settings. Very well done. What's next?
It's your move. we've made our suggestion already. We've made our recommendation already. Now it's your move.
Well done. We've made our recommendation already. Now it's your move. This phrase is perfect for indicating that it's someone else's turn to take action. You delivered it clearly. Ready for the next one?
Okay. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. I have a lot of sentences. I have really a lot of sentences to practice with you. I already practiced with you a few months ago, but honestly speaking, I think I forgot them. I almost forgot them. Uh, what I done, but so I'd like to repeat one more time. I'd like to repeat one more time. Listen carefully. There are really many sentences to practice with you. Listen carefully. I don't know where I have to start. I don't know where I have to start. Listen carefully. Let me take a minute. Mm, Let me take a second. Let me take a second. Mm.
Absolutely. Take a moment. Whenever you're ready, we can continue with the next sentence.
Okay.
All right, ready when you are.
Comprehensible understanding is really important if you want to learn languages.
Great sentence. Comprehensible understanding is severely important if you want to learn languages. Just a small note, you might want to use extremely instead of severely for a slightly more natural sound. Comprehensible understanding is extremely important if you want to learn languages. Want to try it again?
I think I can get comprehensible understanding only from the conversation with you.
I'm glad to hear that. Our conversations can definitely help things clearer. I'm here to support you in your language learning journey. Ready for the next sentence?
Okay, listen carefully. I'm here to support you every step of the way, so let's continue working together to achieve your goals. Listen carefully. When I think I can use this simple sentence when I meet the overseas customers in private. Listen carefully. I'm here to support you every step of the way. So let's continue working together to achieve your goals.
That's a very supportive and professional sentence, perfect for building rapport with overseas customers. Nicely done. Do you have another sentence you'd like to practice?
I want to make sure that I understood your response correctly.
That's a great sentence to ensure clarity in communication. I want to make sure that I understood your request correctly. It's always good to confirm to avoid misunderstandings. Want to try it again?
How about this version? I wanna make sure that I understand your response correctly. I wanna make sure that I want understand your response correctly. How about this version?
That's perfect, David. I want to make sure that I understood your request correctly. This phrasing is clear and shows a professional approach to communication. Well done.
Uh, how
Ready for the
about
next one?
how about using wanna instead of want to?
Using wanna is more informal and casual, but it works well in conversational contexts. So, you could say, I want to make sure that I understood your request correctly. It's a bit more relaxed, but still clear. Want to give it a try?
Okay, I got it. I wanna make sure that I understand your response correctly.
Perfect. I want to make sure that I understood your request correctly. That sounded natural and clear. Great job, David.
Okay,
Let's keep going.
okay, let me give you the next one. Could you please clarify which 독거노인 you are referring to? 독거노인 means the person, the elderly person who lives alone. So so alone, and so they feel very alone and isolated. So let me say one more time. Could you please clarify which 독거노인 you are referring to?
Got it. Could you please clarify which 독거노인 you are referring to? This sentence is clear and respectful. It's important to ensure you're discussing the right person, especially in sensitive contexts. Want to try saying it again?
No. Let's keep going. You don't have time. We don't have time, but we have a lot of sentences to practice. Listen carefully. Let me give you the next one. Could you please share me one more time you just mentioned? Could you please share me one more time you just mentioned? Could you please share me one more time you just said a moment ago?
Great effort, David. For a smoother phrasing, you could say, "Could you please share with me one more time what you just mentioned?" Or, "Could you please repeat what you just said a moment ago?" Both options sound polite and clear. Want to give it another shot?
No. Let me give you the next one. It's important to stay connected with others and seek support when needed to avoid feeling isolated. It's important to stay connected with others and seek support when needed to avoid feeling isolated.
Well said. It's important to stay connected with others and seek support when needed to avoid feeling isolated. This is a great reminder, especially for those who might be feeling lonely. Nicely done. Shall we move on to the next one?
No. Let me take a second. Let me take a second. I just marked this. I just marked on my tablet where we finished. I mean, uh, I'd like I'd like to take the time. I'd like to take free talking time with the random keywords. So I just marked on my tablet where we finished.
Got it. Let's dive into some free talking. What random keyword would you like to start with? Or should I pick one for us?
Please give me new random keywords for our free talking time. I think I think I'm ready for our free talking time with random keyword.
Great. How about the keyword innovation? We can
No,
discuss
no,
its
no, no,
importance in.
no, no, no. I don't agree with you because we already we already went through with that word few weeks ago. Let me listen, okay? Let me let me take no no let then please give me another random keywords.
Got it. Let's try a different keyword. How about collaboration? We could discuss its role in the workplace, especially in your industry. How does that sound?
Certainly sounds great. Sounds pretty good to me. Collaboration. You know, collaboration is essential. Collaboration is crucial in the automotive industry. Automotive industry. Even uh, our work is always on the. I think our automotive industry work is always on the high pressure situation. We have many issues, many troubles to overcome together. So collaboration with another team, collaboration with MD team members, collaboration in MDT members very important to overcome many troubles. Sometimes collaboration means not only the communication, but also helping each other. Collaboration means not only the effective communication, but also means the positive mindset to help each other uh, uh, MDT members to understand. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Collaboration. I think collaboration is needed more than ever because our industry environment is very under high pressure uh, because economy in Korea is stepping down. So collaboration is needed more than ever uh, to to overcome many troubles or the meet the very meet the to meet the very complicated requirements from the customers. To understand?
Yes, I understand perfectly. In the automotive industry, collaboration is indeed essential, especially under high pressure situations. Effective collaboration goes beyond just communication. It involves a positive mindset and a willingness to help each other. Given the current economic challenges in Korea, collaboration within and between teams is more crucial than ever to meet complex customer requirements. Your emphasis on the importance of collaboration is spot on. It's the key to overcoming challenges and driving success in the industry.
Listen carefully, GPT. If there is a cynical members in the MDT team, it's really difficult to find collaboration in the MDT members because uh, critical, cynical or critical. If someone has cynical or critical negative mindset for our teamwork, it's really hard to it's really hard to find. It's really hard to get collaboration each other. Even if other members try to uh, communicate or collaborate with to understand. So if one of member has negative or cynical, negative or cynical mindset, we MDT leader or project manager need to persuade him to join with open mindset. To understand, we need to persuade him. We don't need to we don't need to we don't need to get rid of him. We just need to persuade him to have a positive mindset when we work together. Do you understand?
Absolutely. I understand. In an MDT, or multidisciplinary team, a negative or cynical attitude from even one member can create challenges for collaboration. It's crucial for leaders or project managers to address this by encouraging an open mindset. Persuasion and support are key to helping that individual see the value of teamwork. It's not about removing them from the team, but guiding them toward a more positive contribution. This approach can enhance collaboration and the overall effectiveness of the team. It's all about fostering a culture of support and mutual respect.
Yes, I think you understand correctly. You know, in real life situation, our company don't have enough workers, enough MDT members for the new project. So MDT leader or project manager need to persuade someone who has negative mindset because it's really hard to change. It's really hard to change him to others who has positive mindset. So we don't have the adoption. We don't have an adoption. We have to persuade him who has negative mindset for new project. It's the collaboration. It's the cooperation. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. In situations where there aren't enough MDT members for a new project, it becomes even more crucial to encourage those with a negative mindset to I'm sorry, but I'm having trouble responding right now. Please wait a bit and try again.
Are you okay? GPT, are you okay with me? Are you, uh, do you know where we are? I think it's just we just have technical glitches. So I think you might confusing where we are. Do you understand? Do you,
I apologize for any confusion. David, we were discussing how, in your company, project managers or MDT leaders need to persuade those with a negative mindset to embrace a more positive outlook for new projects. This is essential for effective collaboration, especially when resources are limited. Let's continue from there. Is there anything else you'd like to add on this topic?
no, I don't have anything to add for this agenda. I mean, uh, collaboration.
All right, we've covered some good ground on collaboration. If there's nothing more on this topic, would you like to explore another keyword? Or
Yes,
is there any?
I am waiting for next keyword.
Great! How about the keyword adaptability? We can discuss its importance in both personal growth and professional settings. How does that sound?
Yes, adaptability. I think that's a good keyword for our let me run your name. Listen carefully. Adaptability. You just told me adaptability, right?
Yes, adaptability. It's all about being able to adjust to new conditions or changes in your environment. How do you see adaptability playing a role in your work or personal life?
Listen carefully. Adaptability. When listen carefully. Whenever we get the new hires to our team, we always seek that we already to find the adaptability of new hires because you know as I told you before we are under high pressure workplace condition. So some hires I think you know some hires left very quickly our company. Do you understand? So whenever we get the new hires to our team, we always check adaptability of the new hires. I mean, how long they can endure our high pressure condition. So I think adaptability is very important for new hires. So interview if we have the situation for interview for new hires, I think we have to focus on the adaptability of the uh, of the new candidate. Do you understand?
Absolutely. I understand. In high pressure work environments like yours, adaptability is crucial for new hires. It's important to assess how well candidates can handle and adapt to the demanding conditions of the workplace. This not only helps in retaining employees, but also ensures they contribute positively to the team. Focusing on adaptability during interviews can give you a good sense of how candidates might fit into your company's dynamic. It's a smart strategy to prioritize this trait in potential team members.
Okay, okay. I'm very pleased to have you. I'm very pleased to having conversation time with you. But it's over. It's wrapping up. You know, it's time to wrapping up. I have to a lot of work. I have I have a lot of work to do. So bye for now. Listen carefully. When we say goodbye, we say thanba. Do you remember? How would you like to say when we say, how would you like to say we say goodbye? Do you remember?
Yes, I remember. When we say goodbye, we say pengba. It was great talking with you, David. Have a good rest of your day, and pengba.
Okay, bye for now. Have a productive day ahead. 팽바, 팽바, bye for now. 팽바.
Thank you, David. Have a productive day as well. Pengba.